Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I watched Twin Peaks recently after David Lynch passed. I watched his films and then Twin Peaks, and I had some films from the Twin Peaks actors, and I sort of thought I should watch them. I've been meaning to do it for ages, and there are a few films from Sherilyn Fenn, and I thought, okay. So I watched Two Moon Junction. I'd always heard about Two Moon Junction. I'd heard she'd done a nude scene. I thought it was going to be set in some town. Like I thought Two Moon Junction would be like a town like Twin Peaks or something like that. And I did not know what I was getting myself into. It's nothing like that at all. The film is about a young woman who has basically been sold off to the patriarchy. She's being married off, even though it's in the 80s and she's supposed to be empowered and she's a very strong woman. She's still sort of adhering to the patriarchy, and you know her grandmother's giving her the land that she's supposed to, and the houses and everything that she's supposed to give to her daughter. That's the only thing. It's like, I'll give you everything as long as you pass it on to your daughter and keep it in the family. But she's not happy, and there are all these scenes where her little sisters are like mimicking her and dressing up like her, and like, oh, we're going to be like you one day, we're going to have the perfect husband, and we're going to dress in sexy lingerie and have boobs and all this little girls pretend to be women thing. And she sees that they're idolizing her when she knows the reality of it is it's miserable, and she's not happy because she's been married off to this guy like some sort of prize. And you see like the bachelor party, and it's just the patriarchal stereotypes of all these men sitting around saying, oh, bring these two families together, it's such a great deal, you're getting such a great deal with this piece of property like you're purchasing basically. And it's pretty vile, and the guy just has no connection to her, and he's proclaiming his love and singing on like tabletops and stuff, and it's like they haven't even had sex. It's just bizarre. Now the whole film has this interesting style. It's trying to be this sensual 80s erotic thriller, and there's like this saxophone music and soft lighting and a lot of breathy sort of slow motion delivery of everything, and it's just fascinating. I don't know how it would have been received at the time. I know it didn't get great reviews. It only made about 1.5 million at the box office or something, and it's just fascinating because I didn't even know Sherilyn Fenn had starred in a movie. I know she'd been in The Wraith, but she wasn't the main character, and I thought Twin Peaks was her first big thing. I didn't realise she'd done this film and starred in a movie, and also didn't know she'd done so much nudity. There's so much Sherilyn Fenn in this film now. I see Sherilyn as like a sister. She's like little Audrey Horne. I've loved her since Twin Peaks. I'd never seen her do a nude scene, so it was quite shocking. It's like seeing your sister get undressed or something is just wrong. It's like, no, why are you getting naked? You're Sherilyn Fenn. Like, what? Like, I'm a gay man. I don't look at women like that. So it was just really uncomfortable. But eventually you just get used to her breasts, and it's like, okay, she's fine with them. And I love that they're natural, because one thing I found disturbing is you see in a lot of films these fake breasts. They're like big round objects that sit on top of like the muscle layers and everything, and they just look like they're on the outside of the body, like external. It's just bizarre, and I don't understand how men don't appreciate real breasts. And watching a woman with real breasts, in the act and in so many positions, it's like, why would they want these weird objects that just like sit on the chest like some water balloon or so? It's just weird. But yeah, and she does full nudity, and it's like, yes, she's a brunette naturally, okay. And it's kind of courageous on some level with her, but it's like, was this hot? Was this sexy? Like is this what straight guys want to see? Like, I have no idea. But it's got its own weird little aesthetic and style about it, this film. It's just kind of fascinating and mesmerizing on some level. Okay, so I forgot about the story. Okay, so basically she's unhappy. She goes out 'cause she can't sleep one night, and she goes to the circus, and she sees this hot guy with no shirt, because the guy never wears a shirt. Like, you wear a jacket with no shirt underneath it, but no shirt. And she sees him, he sees her, of course, he wants her and assumes that she must want him. Eventually they end up together. He's a complete pig, but she loves it because, of course. And a lot of people panned this film, I think, at the time, the dialogue and the plot, and it's like, yeah, they're cliched, but people are cliched, and people love to be a cliche. People romanticize cliches. I've been a cliche. I've seen people be cliches. It's far more realistic than I think people would give this film credit for. And it was just fascinating. So they have this romance. She sleeps with this guy, even though she's supposed to be getting married to this guy in like a week. And she tries to get rid of him. He comes back. but she wants him, but she tries to get rid of him because she knows she shouldn't be doing this. And her mother, who's played by Louise Fletcher, tries to pay him to go away. He takes the money, comes back. He gets on the crew that's building the tent for her wedding and everything, and they actually literally try to assassinate the guy. They shoot and miss, and eventually what happens is she just decides to get married because she realizes she can have her cake and eat it too. She can marry into the patriarchy, get all the property, get all the institutional, recognition and power, and still, have this guy on the side and just walk into his house and get in his shower and, just have her cake and eat it. And that's just how it ends. So it's a fascinating film. It's beautifully shot. It's just a really fascinating look at the 80s and their perception of women and the patriarchy and all this sort of... It's just interesting. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Two Moons.